All right, I titled this video How I'm Confident. I didn't title it How to Be Confident because I know that there's being confident is a skill, and there's certain things that you can do that I probably honestly will say that work to get to that level. But I'm not a professional. I just want to say what works for me. And then whatever works for you, that'll be awesome. I want to start off with saying that it is not something that once I've done something that requires confidence, now I'm set for life. No, it's like a practice. I still, to this day, get shy or get nervous before doing something, but not as intense and not as often. Just that when it happens, I still, I tell myself I can do this. And so I do it. One of the most important things that I tell myself is if someone judges me, because that's one of the main things. When you're not confident, it's because you have insecurities. And most of the time it's because you're afraid what people are going to think. Do I catch myself thinking that? Of course. But then I have to grab myself back and I'm like, 1, do they pay my rent? No. 2, do I want to be surrounded by people that criticize? No. I want to interrupt myself real quick. When I say, do I want to be surrounded by people? No. Because that's obviously going to be inevitable. I'm going to be surrounded by people that criticize me regardless of where I'm at, right? I meant, do I want to be friends with people that criticize me? No. So then, therefore, the opinion of them criticizing me doesn't matter because it's not people that I want to associate myself with. By people that criticize, no. And that just helps even more when, let's say, I was going to say if I trip in public, but that doesn't really embarrass me anymore. I find it funny. I'm like, oh, whoops. I can't think of a specific example because it hasn't happened recently. But let's say I get embarrassed, right? I'm like, oh my God, what if they think this of me and they're going to judge? Then I tell myself, bro, if they're judging me, why would I want to be friends with them? People that are criticizing all the time other people for just being themselves, that's not an energy that I want to be with. I also just really want to emphasize that, let's say you don't care what people think, right? But you yourself, you're insecure because you're not happy with yourself. If I think about it in that perspective as well, when I've been insecure and feeling ugly and I just don't feel content with myself, again, I'm going to mention it throughout the video, but it's about really accepting and trying to, if you don't like how you look, trying to make yourself look better, not in a, getting surgery. If that makes you feel better, then, do whatever you want. But just really being okay with who you are. It sounds so easy, but I know that it's not. And it's a day-by-day thing where you have to show little acts of love towards yourself every day. Because the best way to feel loved is how you make yourself feel loved. Again, one day at a time. I want to be surrounded by open-minded people. And I have to be authentically myself to gravitate. Gravitate? So they can gravitate? So we can attract each other. As I mentioned, I don't feel confident right off the bat with every single thing that I do. But what it is the way that I talk to myself. It's a lot of self-love. And self-love is something that's not easy, I'm insecure about my teeth. I'm insecure about not being where I'm at with my stomach physically. But I know that I'm working towards it. So it's not as big of an insecurity. And with my teeth, I know that I don't have the money right now to get braces, get all that work done. But I know that it's going to get done. And so because I know that it's going to get done, I'm not as insecure. I am just accepting of what it is that I have right now. If I got a really bad haircut, yeah, at first I'm going to be like, dude. But then I'm going to say, it's going to grow back. There's always a solution. There's always another thing, the optimistic type of way. But it's also a lot of being honest with yourself, being accountable with your mistakes. Since confidence and self-love really intertwine with each other, if I didn't forgive myself for the mistakes that I've made in my life, or if I haven't forgiven others, then I wouldn't be able to feel such tranquility or calmness with my day-to-day life, because I'd feel uneasy thinking, oh my God, I did this. Oh my God, I look like this. It's just a lot of acceptance. And it's not easy, but it's just, you have to flip the switch inside your head and you have to say, what desire matters to me most? Being confident and, picturing that version of myself, future version of myself that I'm just really satisfied with. Or do I want to stay stuck in the same pattern? You have to recognize the patterns that you do. I have to recognize the fidgeting. I know that I touch my hair a lot. I like it to look a specific way. I'm not the type of person that moves my leg a lot. You can't really see. But that thing, or just little things that have happened that I've seen with others that may impact you a little bit. I watched this theater class and I was just a spectator, or I'm seeing them make their scenes and I'm just watching. Right next to me there's a girl who will not stop moving her leg, and since we're in chairs and then this similar floor, this specific floor where I can feel her leg being moving, I start to feel uneasy and I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to stop, stop. But then I have to talk and ground myself. And it's just a lot of self-talk, positive self-talk. I don't want to say that positivity is the only answer, because then it'll be just toxic positivity. No, again, be honest with your flaws. Recognize them. I know that I can be impatient. I know that I can struggle in this way, and just having that compassion with yourself that you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. Everyone struggles with insecurities at one point. Everyone experiences similar feelings, similar beliefs. And that makes me feel not alone. And it's a reminder, I'm not alone. This is a common thing. People worry about what other people are going to be worried. People are so in their own world that what I do right now is honestly not going to matter in a couple of minutes or by the next day. I've worn, let's say, a Spider-Man outfit. I wore that during October in New York. And I just wanted to wear a Spider-Man outfit. I wanted to take pictures like that at this specific place that I was going to. And I did it. And I know some people, they can look at it and be like, oh my God, that's weird, whatever. But they're literally, if they see me passing by in the moment, that's one thing. They could just be like, ugh. And then I keep passing by and, they already forgot about me. It's not as big as I think it's going to be. And I put more desire into what I want to do rather than what they're going to think. It's not easy. And it sounds so easy, but I get that. I remember how it felt to walk in the mall. I remember it so vividly, this one moment. I was in the mall and I felt like people were watching me. I felt this kind of, I don't know how to explain it. There's literally a literal energy where I feel like I'm just being watched. And I feel uneasy. I feel insecure. I feel ugly. I felt ugly. I felt just not good with myself. And then as time went by, I don't feel that anymore, of that uneasiness of, oh, I'm being watched. Again, I get shy, I get nervous, but I still do what I want to do. If it's not going to be something that is the norm, I really don't care. I think it makes it even cooler that I'm capable of doing that. Just applauding my accomplishments as well as I need to be honest with my flaws. I need to be honest with all the good things that I've done. It's that word again, but compassion and empathy for yourself as well. Remember that you're talking to your inner child that's growing into an adult, or if you're an adult and you're not confident, you're still talking to your inner child. I have this method where if I'm nervous to doing something, I count And let's say I want to count to 3, right? I'm like, I'm gonna count to 3, and as soon as I get to 3, I'm gonna do it. But in reality, no. I count 1, 2, and I do it in 2. Small steps. It's not gonna be all the time where I can just rip the band-aid. No, sometimes I just have to carefully put water in the band-aid so it can get less sticky, and then I take it out. It can be either you do something really extravagant and you're like, wow, I really did that. Wow. Or you, little by little, you do something different. You're like, you know what? I'm going to compliment that person's shoes. It's something so small, but it can be intimidating to... As a society, it's becoming normalized that talking to others while you're on a walk, it can be not the norm. You just you're on a walk and you're doing your own thing. You're just looking. Sometimes there's the occasional, they smile at you, they say good morning, or you're just in your walk. I also have my moments where I don't want to say hi to people and I'm just walking, listening to my music. But then I have those other times where, you know what, I want to compliment you. Because a compliment goes a long way. Being kind to yourself is the main thing when wanting to be confident. But once you are confident, then you just want to be kind because you have the capacity to do so. No matter how perfect you are, people are always gonna judge you. A lot of the time, like I said, we are afraid what people think, right? We want that external validation, but honestly, that validation won't always be for the right thing. I've seen it in movies where there's, a bullying this kid, and then this other people in the back, they're like, yeah, bully him. Let's say they were applauding him for being a bully. Just because you're getting an applause doesn't mean that it's right. I want to go more in depth to what I meant by like the validation and the applause and all that. Just because I feel like a lot of the time when we want the validation, it's obviously going to make us feel better. But let's say that I'm going to give a better example to the bully thing. If I post a picture on Instagram where I'm showing more skin, and let's say that I don't like that, but that gets the most likes. Just because it's getting the most likes doesn't mean that I'm supposed to follow what people like me doing more. It's about what I feel most comfortable with. That's what I'm trying to get at by why I brought that up. I think that made sense. Right? You got it? Did I get it? I need to understand it before I completely upload this. It's also if someone doesn't agree. Let's say that I really like to cosplay as an anime character, right? And then I start making my feed just a bunch of cosplaying of me. There's going to be people that are like, what is she doing? What the heck? They're hating. Just because they're saying something negative doesn't mean that I'm doing something wrong. Because I'm not hurting anyone in just dressing up in a fun way, If someone is disagreeing with your beliefs, not needing to defend your opinions, you can. I have before. Just, I'm okay with understanding my opinion and why I think the way that I do without having to change someone's mind. If they are open to have a good conversation where y'all are talking, and they're like, you know what, they're right and about this. And then they say, you know what, they're right about this. And then that's a beautiful conversation because y'all both learn from one another. I was maybe 9 years old. I don't remember, but I was in elementary school. And I had a talent show where I had to sing, right? In that talent show, as I was singing, there was this move that I had to do where I had to like go down with my hair like that in a type of circle movement. And then, I'm still singing. So I did that. I kid y'all not. As I'm doing that, I have a bracelet. That bracelet gets stuck in my earring. So I'm like this. So what do? I continue to sing. I could have just froze right then and there and be like, fuck, this is so embarrassing. Oh my God. But I was just like, This is just something that's happening and I'm gonna fix it. At that little age that I was just fixing it, and then I kept singing. At the end of it, everyone's applauding. And it made me feel satisfied with just knowing that things get resolved. Stuff on the outside, and that's what brings insecurity, whether it has to do with money, whether it has to do with something that you're working on that isn't finished yet. But I'm just like, it's gonna get finished, and it's gonna get paid. It's gonna happen. It's a lot of self-talk, dude. Like, I have to look at myself in the mirror. I don't have to. I like to look at myself in the mirror, and I tell myself, I feel this way. I don't like how I reacted to this, but I'm gonna learn from it. And then just implementing another voice in your head besides the one that's like, "Oh, I feel ugly, I'm tired, no one likes me." There's that voice, right? Don't get me wrong, I've experienced it from time to time too. But I have to implement this other voice that's like, you know what? I did the best that I could do with the knowledge that I had in that moment. Being easy on yourself. The more that you accept yourself, the easier it is to be confident. The more that you understand your story, that's what's helped me. Accepting myself, knowing what type of life that I want to live, knowing what type of person that I want to be, having every intention that I do line up with my values that I believe and the things that I want to accomplish. It's just with time, I have noticed things about people that I like, and I'm like, okay, what do those people have that I like that I need to apply into my life? And just following those things, I haven't gotten in this mindset by myself. I've listened to so many audios. I've heard people say how they got to where they are right now, and I'm like, okay, well, then I need to change this and this and this. And it's just the beauty of life, learning. So if I have that focus on my head, anything else that is gonna happen, all the obstacles, I'm gonna face them. I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna get frustrated, but then I'm just gonna get over it. And I'm gonna keep moving forward. I've shot my shot so many times with people. I've gotten rejected so many times. Genuinely, I cannot count how many times I've been rejected. Every rejection that I get, it just makes it easier to get rejected again and again and again and again. And I'm okay with rejection. Being okay with the fact that you're not gonna always get what you want or what you think you want, because that just leads you to other opportunities. For me to compliment a guy, it's so easy, bro, because with both genders, but more specifically a guy, because whenever I think about it in terms of dating, I want them to be more confident than me, and I want them to chase me, because I know that I'm capable of hitting on them. I know that I have done it. But what I want to be, who knows, maybe I could end up having a boyfriend and it was because of me going up to them, right? And I could swallow my own words. From all the people that I've shot my shot, with every single person that I meet again after that, I'm like, dude, there's so many people that can make me feel this type of way. It can make me feel infatuated, have a little crush. I know it's because my desire for finding more people that think like me, and my desire for achieving the things that I want to achieve is stronger than any other people's opinion, because they're not in my day-to-day life. Whenever I go to sleep, I'm alone. Whenever I'm in the restroom, I'm in there alone. I'm taking a shower alone. I'm in this life alone. Of course, there's people that love me and that I communicate to, But at the end of the day, I'm the one making the decisions for my career, for working out, for when I'm gonna write certain stuff. And because I'm in control, I choose to have every intention and every thought that not every thought actually, that'd be a lot of thoughts. Because I'm still trying to control them, but not too much. Because I also think I just have to let my thoughts flow and not pay attention to them, not believe everything that they're thinking. But when I do take the time to just be conscious, which is one of the main focuses, I'm trying to be conscious. I'm having my thoughts that I believe reinforce this story in my head, and in a way being delusional. I've heard that a lot before in successful people. You have to really believe what you want is going to come true. And honestly, I could say that everything that I've wanted has happened, not in a way that I would think it would be, but in a way that I'm like, oh my God, this happened because I wanted this and I worded it, like this. So whatever you put out into the universe, that's what you're going to get back. If you're going to keep feeling insecure and you're not going to want to break that pattern, you're going to stay in that pattern. And I think I just got tired of feeling insecure. I got tired of all these bad habits that I've had, which of course, from time to time I'll still do. I want to eat healthy, but I'm going to also eat chips from time to time. That's what I think right now. It's not something that I'm completely erasing overnight, but just little by little. And when I wake up, if I make a mistake, okay, another day. It's another day. It's another chance. So my message and my reminder to myself is, which desire do you want to put more of your energy into? It is insane that I didn't bring up God in this video. The reason why I didn't bring it up was because I thought to myself, how does religion, actually not religion, because I don't identify as a specific religion. I usually say that I'm more spiritual. But I believe that God exists. To me, God is divine energy. It's within everyone. And it's presented in our life in a way that only we understand it. Like the way that I have seen God in my life is probably not the same way that you have seen it, because we all view it differently. But how that makes me confident is knowing that I surrendered to the moment and to myself, and trusting that everything at the end of the day is going to be okay. God is with me. That also gives me majority of my confidence, because I know that I'm not alone. And that divine energy is within myself. So I think without God, without me believing in that, I also wouldn't be as confident personally.